Patrick's Day. Or actually, a lot of St. Patrick's Day.
All right.
So I'm going to talk about Irish bands, Rob.
Yes.
And first things first, we're going to do, I don't want to exactly call them retractions, but some people pointed out, well, actually, we pointed ourselves out that there was a few things, or this one pointed out, that a few things that were inaccuracies on last broadcast. So if you could sit on your lap.
Absolutely.
And I will start off. First off, I erroneously, because it wasn't you, Rob, I erroneously mentioned that the band America, and this was Asinine, was Canadian, which is not true.
They're Canadian.
Obviously, the band
They're not Canadian.
The band America is what?
They are American.
Yeah, that was my fault. I don't know why I thought, but I'll tell you why I thought that there was something different.
I thought maybe Australia.
It could be Australia. But the band America was formed actually in Britain. And I had read that somewhere way back. The three main members of America met as children of Air Force personnel or Air Force One.
Yeah.
Air Force personnel that was based somewhere in England. Then.
Yes.
So the band was formed in England.
Okay.
But they are all American expatriates.
Okay.
So that was the confusion there, but they definitely were not Canadian.
They were definitely not Canadian, so
dumb.
we really wanted to wipe the slate clean on that,
right? Because people were very
pissed.
Yoda was very irritated.
We had an estimated. I can't even say. We had an estimated of one comment.
Right. I thought it was a half.
It was a half a comment.
Okay. The band Hurricane, whose song
Hurricane.
I'm on to you, right?
I'm on to you. Yes.
Sing a little bit. No.
I'm on to you.
Okay. The band Hurricane is not what?
They are not Canadian. They are American.
From the West Coast.
Yes.
Ironically enough, the band Hurricane, as you pointed out last week, has a singer.
That is the lead singer of Foreigner.
Now. Right.
Not again.
It's a Kelly Hansen is his name, correct?
Kelly Hansen. Yeah.
Is it Kelly Hansen?
I believe it is Kelly Hansen or something like that. We're probably going to have to retract that too.
Well, next week we can do that.
Yeah.
But the ironic thing with that band, it was kind of a one-hit wonder in the 80s. The ironic thing is two of the members of that band had brothers that were in that band that everybody probably knows out there called Quiet Riot.
Okay.
So the guitarist of Quiet Riot, I think his name was Carlos Cavazos. His, I don't know if it was older brother or little brother, was in Hurricane, but ironically, he was the bass player.
Doesn't matter. Okay. He was in Hurricane and Quiet Riot.
Right. Then Rudy Sarzo, who was the bass player for Quiet Riot and for Ozzy Osbourne, among other things.
Oh yes, we can't forget
Whitesnake.
We can't forget the dude that bit heads off bats.
Correct. It wasn't him, but it was Ozzy that bit heads off.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't Rudy Sarzo. That's what we wanted. We want to get that straight, guys. It wasn't Rudy Sarzo. It was Ozzy Osbourne.
Right. But
Sharon.
But Rudy Sarzo, brother, was in this band Hurricane that you mentioned, but he and Rudy Sarzo was the bass player, but his brother was the guitarist of that band. So.
What are you talking about? That is awesome as anything. Shut the front door.
All right. So the final thing, is it the final thing?
Final?
Pretty much the final thing on this is we talked about the band Japan.
Yes.
That one of the members of
from Japan.
But they are not from Japan.
What? Why would they call themselves Japan then?
There was no answer to that. They can care less. They just had no name for a band, so they just arbitrarily called the band Japan. And the band Japan did not have an album called Hiroshima. Okay, so
did they have a song called Nagasaki?
Nagasaki? No,
Nagasaki?
That was the other place.
Okay.
So Rob's already being irreverent. Why don't we give Rob a beverage? And maybe that'll calm him down.
Yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
We've got our lovely assistant and the one that actually...
Our producer.
Yeah, our producer. Absolutely. Producer, manager, CEO.
Right, exactly.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. Hey, we are the Wise Guys with a Z. And it is called the Wise Guys with a Z
Is it with
podcast.
A Z? Is it with a Z?
It is with a Z as in zebra or whatever.
So, So the confusion, just to finish up with that, where we did with this hurricane that I was thinking of with it, because last week we were doing Canadian bands. Was do you remember the band Helix? Helix.
Yes.
They did that stupid song called something like "Rock You." Remember the "Give Me an R"? Give me an O. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Anyhow, so that's what I was confusing with that. Even though
we will. Oh, that's Queen. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he does that good though.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, did you take a sip? So to your health, Rob. Okay, so.
Hey, hopefully we'll make it another day, brothers.
Correct.
And sisters.
So anyhow, that's the few things that
Grandpas, mamas, whatever.
And you know what? Nobody would have died if we didn't clear that up. But
yes,
just thought we would clear that up.
Yes.
So today is St. Paddy's Day.
Yes, it is.
Last night on the porch here, we had wonderful little party that you participated in. A lot of the neighbors came over.
We
that was
also
nice.
We also had some really awesome thing that Laura made called a what?
Oh, green leprechaun?
Green leprechaun.
Okay, green leprechaun.
Yes.
Which was a beverage.
Yes, this is not a green leprechaun. I don't know why I'm holding that up right now.
It's actually green.
Okay, it's green.
It is a leprechaun.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a hat.
It's green. That's a bowler.
That's green. It's a bowler. For bald people.
Right.
I don't know. For anybody that wants to wear it.
So today is St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, it is.
Which in a lot of places is, I'm sure if we would go downtown, downtown Atlanta, probably some big celebrations and maybe some Irish bars.
Yes.
And throughout the country, like I would visit where my wife's from, which is New England, and we go down to downtown Boston. It's ridiculous there because they have a huge contingency of Irish folks that still live in that town. They have like a Irish quarter there, an Italian quarter, but those are some of the big quarters in the town, and huge parties.
A huge party today is in Savannah too, guys. They actually take the Savannah River and they turn it green. You got to go down to Savannah. It's a lot of fun. I've been down there. It's a drunk fest. Believe me. I probably couldn't make it now because I'm not even gonna give y'all my age. This guy is a lot younger than me.
What he meant to say is I look a lot younger.
Yeah, he looks a lot younger. He's actually approaching 90.
And then some.
And then some,
right.
Yes.
But I have actually been to, they do that in Chicago too with the rivers, where they dyed the rivers green.
Yes.
In downtown Chicago there when they had their St. Paddy's Day Fest.
Yes.
But for a lot of places, unfortunately, some of this has kind of evolved into something that's a little out of control and things like that. A lot of people just wanting to go out and have fun, and sometimes it gets way too carried away.
Yes.
But, Rob, the idea behind St. Pat was actually, ironically enough, a religious holiday.
Yeah,
okay?
It is a religious holiday. It's an Irish Catholic.
Right. So, basically...
Blue Bloods, if you've ever seen Blue Bloods, they're Irish Catholic. It's a great show.
And I'm sure they celebrated St. Paddy's Day. And,
they did.
Well, you're right, because in that show, you're just seeing them constantly going to Mass and certain things like that. Where
they're always having Sunday dinner, too.
Which is a very big thing.
Yes, it's a big thing. And also, that is, my wife is Catholic as well. And we make sure that we sit down at the table and eat. We never, we never sit down and have food on the couch. But it's not because we don't want to be a family or anything like that. It's because our dogs will come up and just take it from us, and then there'll be a huge ass fight, and it will not be a good thing. Right, John?
Okay. Now, I've never actually seen your dogs take your food from you, but I have to take your word on that.
You have to take my word on that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So,
getting back
to St. Patrick's, what this is supposedly all about, and then we eventually will get to Irish bands.
Yes, we will.
But St. Patrick's Day, I assume the man's name was Patrick, but basically this goes back to 1,600 years ago or so, supposedly, when this happened, that he was kidnapped. He was an English Roman citizen. This goes back before there was really even established England.
Okay.
But it was an English Roman area.
Okay.
And he came from prominence, from a wealthy family. Patrick was kidnapped and taken to Ireland, to Celtic. Basically, it was the Celts back then.
Okay.
And they were like a pagan culture, whereas I guess down to they did have the Christianity, I guess, in the British part.
Yes.
And basically, he was forced into becoming a shepherd and this and that. Make a long story short, they stayed there roughly 6 years. Towards the end of that time, he had some kind of conversion self-conversion to Christianity. And then he was given some sort of a vision where God told him to go to the coast. A ship would be there, would take you back to England, and you'd be rescued. Okay?
Yes.
So that did happen. Went back to England. He became a Catholic priest. And then he saw that what he needed to do was go back to Ireland, and this is how the Irish became Catholic. He would go back to Ireland, and he would convert those people. And supposedly he's supposed to be the converter to Christianity of the Irish people.
Yeah.
And supposedly that's what it's about. So,
but I thought it was about pinching people also. That I understand that part of it, and that's a beautiful story, really is. But what's this thing about if you're not wearing green, you get pinched?
What's this thing about if you're not wearing green, you get pinched? I don't know. Tell me, Rob. I have no idea. I know people do it. I'm not sure why that is.
Supposedly, I guess it's to get near that person or something like that.
Or what does green have to do with
pinch them on the butt?
Or what does green have to do with that?
Green is just it's an Irish thing. It's a leprechaun.
Okay, but why green?
So anyway, we're going to go on to the next thing.
So basically, you're telling me you don't know.
I have no clue.
All right. So we're going to go into some
But
Irish
if y'all
bands.
want to comment and tell us what that is, you're welcome to do that. I will tell you that, like I said, we had the party last night. We did have a party guest here that actually said we were just plain ass weird.
Which we take as a compliment.
So we take that as a compliment. So any comments you want to make, if you want to say, you guys are beautiful on there. Rob, I love your glasses. John, I love your shirt.
Or you want to challenge that?
Yes,
America is a Canadian band.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah, and if you want to challenge this Angus Young hat that he's got on from AC/DC.
Actually, it's a Guinness hat.
Okay, it's a Guinness hat. Yes,
So.
definitely.
We have an answer to your question.
We have an answer to the question of why it's green or why you get pinched.
Yes, we want to hear it.
Okay, according to the folklore, you get pinched on St. Patrick's Day for not wearing green because green makes you invisible to leprechauns.
Yes.
Yes, green is the color
So
of
we're
shamrocks.
invisible to leprechauns.
We're invisible to leprechauns.
No wonder I didn't get pinched.
Yeah, I know. Did
Okay.
you just grab my ass?
Yes, many times. You never said that before. So back to Irish, or
You
not
had
back
me,
to.
You had me at hello.
So now that we went through all that, it's just St. Paddy's Day, which we'll have Guinnesses and we'll have food later on, things like that.
And we are the Wise Guys. That's with the Z, and it's the Wise Guys
Really?
with the Z podcast.
Really?
PODCAST.
Where we talk about pretty much anything
Where
we
we
want
talk
with a
about-
bent on music, of
That's
course.
exactly right. And if you want to make a comment that's totally off the wall, you're welcome to do that. This is a great place of fellowship. We love everyone. We appreciate you being here. And on to the show.
Yep. So we are going to talk about what today, Rob?
We are going to talk about Irish bands.
So what is probably the big heavy today in Irish bands? Probably the biggest Irish band today, Rob.
Well, I can tell you an Irish singer that is no longer with us. Her name is Sinead O'Connor.
Okay.
Bless her. Bless her.
Now,
But anyway, the number one Irish band out there, and they have this thing out in Las Vegas right now. It's called the Sphere.
right?
And it's where U2 performs. And John and I, in probably about 15, 20, 30 years, we're probably going to go out there to do our podcast because at that time,
There'll be 100.
there'll be 100 comments.
I'm not thought they'd be 100 years old.
They'll be 100 years old, but it'll be Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
Right. But U2 is, at least now, probably the most prominent Irish band out there at this
Yes,
point in time.
great
There's
band.
no question.
It's a beautiful day.
Now, have you seen them?
I have never seen U2 before, guys. I really have to say that John has seen them.
Are you sure of that?
So anyway, on to the next band.
No, I have seen them. Okay. So I was pulling your leg there. I saw them.
I'm just yanking your chain.
I yanked it right off. I saw you two in. Do you remember when they did that song with BB King that was a hit? I forget what it's on. Is it? Wait, nah. It doesn't matter. But anyhow, they did on one of their albums. They did do a song with BB King, and it was maybe 88.
On Blueberry Hill.
No, that's. Boy, you're really gonna. Messed me up today, but that's Fats Domino. Yeah. Anyhow, so they did just a song on one of their albums, but they were touring that album, whatever album that was. So it was about 88, 89. They were already doing stadium shows only.
Okay.
They were already that big.
Okay.
So it was at a stadium show, and then ironically enough, BB King opened for them.
Oh,
So
okay.
which was kind of cool. So, they played pretty much everything in that era. You're talking about, they already had, a ton of hits, off War and, quite a few of their albums. They already had, plenty of hits. Very long show, played a long time, quite enjoyable. To me, that was when they were still kind of playing music that was less polished. It still kind of had an edge to it.
Yes.
Whereas the later stuff is good, like Zeropa and things like that. Where it almost got, for me, a little bit too slick. It's kind of like when we were talking about Rush the other day. My favorites were when they didn't get as slick, like with the synths and stuff. I liked what I called the more basic Rush. It's kind of the same with you too. Is I like that less,
Yes.
polished sound.
Yes.
It's just, not that I hate the other stuff. It's just, what I prefer the most. But that was the only time. I had many chances to see you two, but for me that was enough because I'm not an uber. Fan
Right.
of you two. I'm fine if we were sitting here, you wanted to put them on, to listen to them, be no problem. But, if I went in the house by myself, it probably wouldn't be my quote-unquote first choice.
Right.
You have stuff to put on. I have, most of their output, too.
Yeah.
A lot of it, once again, on CD, some of their early stuff
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
LP and things like that. So, that's it. The you two. The other one that you mentioned that you really liked, the singer, and we'll mention the other one, not the one you were talking about before, but was the Cranberries. So,
there's also a band out there called Raspberries that Eric Harmon.
I think he just died.
He just died.
Yeah, Eric Harmon.
Rest
just
in
died.
peace, Eric Harmon.
So the raspberries and
For the
cranberries,
raspberries,
and then the
raspberries,
blueberries.
the blueberries and the cranberries and all kinds of things.
But the cranberries.
But the cranberries
were a very good band. Kind of a post punk, I guess.
Beautiful
type of band.
Girl, rest in peace on that one too. She's the one that we lost.
Yep. That was a few years ago that she
That was a
passed
few
away.
years,
Young woman. But they did that song Zombies.
Yes.
Which was about once again very political because that was about those political / religious wars over there.
Yes.
That's what that song was about. And you'll see as we go through all these bands, almost every one of them, maybe some of the later ones not so much, is that they really were at the forefront of that, and a lot of their lyrics, and that's why some of the music is so dark, is because they were dealing with, and to this day they still are,
Yes.
dealing with that political unrest
Yes.
and religious wars, which to me are kind of silly anyhow. But
Oh, I agree with you, 100%.
but they did that song Zombie, which was probably their biggest hit. They had several other hits here in the States. Once again, another band that was a lot bigger in England, Ireland, Europe
Yep.
than they ever were here. I mean, they had 3 or 4 #1 hits here. But that song Zombie is very chilling to me
Yes,
to
it
this
is.
day to listen to.
Yes.
And then there was a version that came out about 3 years ago by a band, have you heard it, called Bad Wolves?
Absolutely, I have. I love their
Where they-
version of it.
Right. They did a very, very good version of that song.
Yes.
But
They're a great band.
exactly, and she had some illness. They were just starting to record new music,
Mm-hmm.
and she was living in the States. I think her name was O'Riordan, if I remember right. Was her
Yeah,
last
yeah, it
name.
was. It was.
And she was living in the States, and I think somewhere in New York, or temporarily, but I think they were just recording a new album. And she had some sort of I don't know if she had an illness or something came on, but she died like it was very unexpected. So,
Yes.
when she passed away, and it was kind of sad because she was kind of had raised her kids, and I think was ready for like almost like a second career kind of
Yep.
thing. And but beautiful voice to me, her. And I know we're going to talk about Sinead O'Connor in a minute. There's some kind of political things with that we very much dislike, but they both had those haunting voices that only like an Irish. I mean, it's an Irish woman singing, which is almost a haunting. If you've never heard her sing, you need to hear her sing.
Right. She also
There's
sings
nothing like that.
She also sings a song called "Linger."
Yeah, linger.
Do
and
we
then,
have to let it linger?
Yep.
Do we have to? Do we have to let it linger?
That's pretty good because there's that brogue on the end of it. Right. And then you remember the Ode to My Family? That was another one.
Yes.
That's another one. Ode to My Family, I think, is the other one. So beautiful voice.
Yes.
But it's just that Irish intonation. And then the next one would be, and politically, Rob and I would have a problem with this, and we might want to skip over, but it would be Sinead O'Connor, who had a distaste for our country. She had a very similar voice, so I'm going to somewhat gloss over her. But she did have, she had one big hit here. It's actually a beautiful, Nothing, what is it called? Nothing Compares to You. Thank you in the audience.
Nothing compares. Who wrote it?
I have no idea. Who wrote
Prince.
it? Did he really write
Yep,
that song?
sure
Wow.
did.
Wow. But Prince is all over things. So we can accept that song since Prince.
And who else sang it? Chris Cornell.
Oh, did he do a version of that?
He sure did, and
Okay.
it was beautiful.
Oh, I have heard that. We did his solo acoustic show. I heard that on
Yeah,
YouTube.
and then what you got to look at too is you got to look at these bands that how about Enya?
Okay.
Enya's a great one. That's a Celtic Celtic woman.
Okay.
Celtic Thunder.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. If I had tickets to go see them, I definitely would because their music is wonderful. I love Celtic music anyway.
Right.
I'm Scottish, but it doesn't matter. I still will go and listen to them. That's
It's not
for sure.
Scottish, it's crap.
If it's not crap, I'll crap in your ear and shit in your mouth.
But no, it's just that sound, and then you go to the heavier stuff that's kind of punky. Oh, now you're going to go to the folk end, but the punk end, like with the intro.
Punkin'.
No, the punk end where they're taking this, merging that Celtic with almost like that punk ethos. Celtic. Excuse
You're
me.
close.
Yeah, but with like Flogging Molly and Dropkick
Not like the
Murphys.
Boston Celtics.
No,
It's the
Celtic.
Boston Celtics.
But it's Celtic is the
Celtic.
Yeah.
Yes, Enya is a wonderful, wonderful new age band, or she is
Woman. Yeah.
and she's beautiful, and she's just her voice just puts me to sleep.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I mean, it depends. If you want to go to sleep, that's a good thing.
I mean, there's been a couple of times.
If you're driving in your car, you
I've
might
been on
resent her.
285,
Right.
and I've listened to Enya, and I
crashed.
decide that I'm just going to go ahead and crash.
Right.
Not literally, but just, doze off a little bit, and then I got to put on, go from Enya to Metallica or Overkill or whatever, to get myself right back to what I need to be, But those
taking those roots type music that you're talking about, and they infused that with that punk, and I know you like them, and you had like a little intro there with the Dropkick Murphys and Flogging Molly.
Yes.
Which kind of take that, their roots music and make it so the kids will like it, I guess.
Yes. And you know who we're missing out on too is Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
He's another one.
Okay. Is he Irish born or just descendant?
I believe he's pretty Irish.
I mean, born over there or born here, though, I guess. Is
I
what I'm
would
getting
say he's probably born in Ireland.
at. Okay. And
So,
Peanut Cutler's telling us we're wrong on that one.
We actually have our producer looking at us
and we're full of crap.
We're full of crap.
So,
Born in West Yorkshire, raised in Framingham, Suffolk. That's where I'm from. And
producers from Framingham in Boston, where there are a lot of Irish people, and both her sets of grandparents were born in Ireland, so I guess she would be an expert.
That's why we have the
That's why you
fact
hired her.
checkers here.
That's why we hired
What
her.
was that?
he's a red-headed English guy.
Oh, yes. But
Okay,
he's got some good,
Okay, so-
good Irish tunes on there.
So basically, he's on the same continent or same
Yeah.
island. But
We consider Ed Sheeran in a Castle in the Hills, I think it is.
Okay, so we're
In the
gonna
Castle in the Hills.
we'll officially adopt Ed Sheeran as an Irishman. How's that
Okay,
sound?
well then there's another one. Heartland, heartland, wherever we may go.
That's great, Rob. What was that?
I like my women like I like my chicken when a little bit fat on the end. Anyway, we're getting back
So
to it,
anyhow,
guys.
flogging Molly
Flogging
and the drunk
Molly.
Goat. What about him?
Flogging Molly.
Simon?
Not much to say about them. Our first song that we had come on here as our introduction was actually Dropkick Murphys, heading to Boston, I think it was.
Well, I mean, they would have these.
I don't think it's heading
St.
to Boston.
Patrick's Day. If
I got
I would
COVID in
imagine,
Boston.
I would imagine if you'd look it up that either Flogging Molly or the Dropkick Murphys or both of them would be playing in Boston today, if I had to guess,
Yes.
or some city like that, because that's just what happens. They could get a big crowd there. They'd probably have a big festival, something like that.
Yes.
The other one that was kind of like them, that was a precursor to Flogging Molly or the Dropkick Murphys, was the Pogues. That's
The Pogues, yes.
That's another gentleman that died
Way too soon.
about 2-3 months ago. But they had that same thing, but their lyrics were quite a bit rougher. Let's say they're a little bit dirtier and things like that. They had a lot more swearing in their songs and things
Yes.
like that. But the Pogues were a band that were around 30, 40 years.
That's an Irish thing.
And I know that was one. You might, since you like Flogging Molly and you like the Dropkick Murphys, you might want to check them out, or somebody out there might want to check
Yeah.
them out. The other one that I know you know a little bit about, and you could probably speak to it too, is they were called in the 70s and going into the 80s, the Boomtown Rats.
Yes.
You remember that band?
I do remember that band, yes.
And I mean, I know they did that song, I Don't Like Mondays, which was really
I don't like Mondays. Tell me why.
I will tell you why.
Why?
Because you got to get back to work.
That's true.
Okay, so that song. Well, first off, it was Bob Geldof was the singer of that
Yes.
band. Okay, and what is Bob Geldof known for? And then I'll get into the history.
Oh man, he was in the best movie called The Wall. Pink Floyd, The Wall.
He played Pink.
He played Pink.
Right.
Oh, by the way, which one's Pink?
Right.
Bob held up and he was like, "Hey, it's me."
Right. And then he did
Live Aid.
Live Aid. And
Sure
then,
did.
he wrote. Do they know what? He actually wrote the song. Do they know it's Christmas?
Yes, he did.
He actually wrote that.
He did-
So
he
he
did-
did a lot more things away from that band that probably made him a lot of money.
Yes.
Like performing in Pink Floyd's
Yes.
The Wall and things
Yes.
like that than he ever made with that. Well, they were like what they call post-punk band, the Boomtown Rats. But he was also a young man when he did that. But that song "I Don't Like Mondays" came from. They were playing in the States.
I don't like Mondays. Tell me why.
I don't like Mondays.
Tell me why.
I will tell you why. Anyhow, they were playing in the States,
I just
and
like
they
that
heard
song.
over the radio this woman. It was in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
She went in to a grade school, shot up the grade school, killed a bunch of people,
What?
wounded the children. That's what the song is about. And they interviewed her as they were taking her away, and they said, "Well, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?" And her answer was, "I don't like Mondays." That was her answer to that.
Well,
And that's
was
why they wrote the
unfair.
song. That was why they wrote that song, because they heard that on the radio, and they wrote a song about it.
Well,
So that's the backstory of that particular one.
well, that's kind of messed up.
Well, it's definitely not good. But Bob Geldof has been, he's organized all these, like you mentioned, a lot of these festivals, and that's pretty much what his body of work has been.
Yes.
In later decades, to where he's raised a lot of global money and things like that. Now, the final one on the punk ethos for people to listen to is a band called Stiff Little Fingers, and they did a album called Inflammable. which was a straight ahead.
Stiff Little Fingers, Richard.
Go ahead.
Stiff Little Fingers.
What a name for a band,
Yeah.
right? What a stupid name for a band. But they did about the 10 album run, and they were quite popular. Once again, this is a band that really didn't make it in the States.
Can you imagine introducing that band? Ladies and gentlemen, Stiff Little Fingers.
Only if you did it.
Yeah. Stiff Little Fingers. Welcome, Stiff Little Fingers.
Welcome to the Villa Rica
Welcome,
Amphitheater.
yeah, welcome to the Villa Rica Amphitheater. We've got a great headliner tonight called Stiff Little Fingers.
I had to swallow there. Spit it out all over the table.
Because you had stiff little fingers.
Now, very last one before we take a quote-unquote beer break and maybe a little food and things like that is a band you said you kind of liked, knew some of the songs I wasn't familiar with, and I was surprised that they're actually Irish.
Yeah.
Called Snow Patrol.
Yes.
Okay, do not know why they call bands in Ireland, once again, Snow Patrol, but they did.
Wow. I love that band. My wife loves that band.
Seriously?
They sing, oh my God, they sing a song called Chasing Cars, and they also sing a song, Run. And I've never seen them in concert because they will not come to America. And it's nothing against America. It's just that they do a lot of big festivals over in the lands, over in the other lands, not our land, but their land.
Okay.
But
like England, Ireland,
like
or
England
Europe?
and Ireland and
Okay.
Scotland,
Scotland. If it's
and
not Scottish,
Australia,
it's clap.
isn't Australia with a clap?
Not
So-
clap, crap.
Crap in your head, shit in your mouth. So anyway, so that being said, Chasing Cars is a fantastic song. It basically starts out with, if I lay here, if I just lay here.
Okay, just for the
will
and
you
my
stand
my
by
own
me
edification.
and be a
This
flogging
is the only
my
one
way?
on this list that I know zero about. What kind of music is it?
I would say it's kind of like an alternative kind of music, John.
Okay,
I don't really need to be looking at you to talk to you about that. I need to be looking at the camera.
that would
pretty
be
much.
appropriate.
Yes, Chasing Cars. It just basically starts out really slow, and then
Okay.
it just accelerates from there. It gets great, and it's a driving song.
Is it a
I have-
guitar-oriented band?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a guitar-oriented band, but I found myself when I listened to it. At first, I'm driving, just driving and chilling out and everything. And then when it gets to that part where it's pounding and everything, I look at my speedometer and I go, "Holy crap! I am just going way over the speed limit." Because that's just what happens,
And the good sheriff's department's giving you many tickets for that.
Yeah, but all I do is I go. He goes, "What are you in a hurry for?" "I'm chasing cars."
And they always let you go because you say,
Run.
I'm with the wise guys.
I'm with
the
the wise
Z,
guys with the Z podcast.
Right, so they let you go.
PODCAST.
So,
What?
so on that note, though,
On that note, great
we are
band,
gonna-
love it.
and-
Yes,
And we are going to take a short break, correct?
I wasn't
potentially-
done talking, but I'm
Go
done
ahead.
now. No, I'm done now. Hey, look up Snow Patrol. You'll really like it. My wife does, and she doesn't like a lot of music.
So with a little luck, we're going to get maybe another beverage or two, and
Yes.
then we might come back with Part 2 of St. Patty's Day.
Yes,
All
I
right?
like what you're saying there.